There's no Chasm in 1.3 UV rays. It looks like Chasm will be later. They didn't say anything about any new areas. It seems like this is like a pretty relaxed patch. There's a bunch of events. There's only one new character. It looked like 2 new weapons, a couple of quality of life changes, a new feature. We'll go through all of it right after the video is done. We'll skip through all of it and talk about all of it. But like a new like resource feature that'll make farming route more fun, which is Pog for me, and for all of you guys as well. And then that's it. And it looks like they're really intending 1.3 to be a patch for you to focus on your existing collection rather than getting a lot of new stuff. Which I have mixed feelings about. I actually don't think that's good for the game, but it seems like that's their goal for this patch. It's weird for a game that, so if you pay attention to like Twitch viewership, right, and overall engagement for the game for hardcore players, it's declined, but it's a natural decline that all games go through. But it's weird for them to, while that natural decline is happening, to slow the pace of development. Like usually you want to add more content in a combination of characters, areas, things to do, etc., not slow down. And this patch is a slowdown compared to last patch by quite a bit. You just think about like the strategy of like Fortnite, for example, right? When Epic Games had Fortnite release and they realized they had a big hit on their hands, right? That was making a lot of money early. They went all in, right? They moved everybody off of other projects where they could, moved them onto Fortnite, hired a bunch of people, started working with a ton of outsourced companies, and did full-time crunch, ramping up and then paying people a lot of money to do that kind of work to make Fortnite just blow up, right? And continue the momentum. And that's what you would think MiHoYo would do here, but it seems like they're not doing that. So that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, won't lie to you guys. I think this patch is not what I was hoping for. Last patch was a slowdown on new characters, Nabs, but I felt like it was a forgivable slowdown because they added like a whole new area. You know what I'm saying? Like that feels like a good increment to me. So there's like a patch where you don't get a whole new area, but you get events and you get more characters, right? So it's like, okay, on the patch where there's no new area, you get 2 5 stars and some 4 stars. And then on the patch where there's a new area, maybe you only get 5 stars and they take a break on the 4 stars. That seems, I mean, it's not the Fortnite strategy, right? The Fortnite strategy would be to turn the gasoline up, right? And keep burning and create more content each new patch, right? But like the general idea of like that seemed more reasonable to me. But this is a patch where this is the worst patch yet, right? Because this is a patch where there's no new area, there's only 1 new character, and that's it. That's pretty unfortunate, I would say. I feel like they really dropped the ball on this patch, which is unfortunate. Here you go. See the weapons coming? Hold on. There it is. Jade sword. There's the Jade sword. See what I'm saying? So so remember what I told you guys? Let's rewind the clocks. Not that long ago, I told you guys that I thought Kaching would actually become a lot better. She was just missing 2 things. A DPS artifact set that's not Thunder Soother or Thundering Fury, right? Partial Thundering Fury, right? Which are like kind of weak sets compared to the full DPS sets of like Crimson Witch and the new Hydra set, the new Blizzard set, right? And then 2, a 5-star weapon that she could actually take full advantage of. Yeah, I don't know if this is it, but I'm just telling you, here's a new 5-star sword and they're featuring Kaching on the patch. Maybe her time to shine is nearby. And there's your other one, the spear. The Spear of Homa. So I think we get 2 new weapons this patch. Like it's weird for them to show them off like that. And then this, I don't really understand. Like, does she have a new weapon or do they just want to show off Ling Guang? I'm actually not really sure how that footage worked its way in, but somehow it did. So maybe there's a new catalyst coming. I can't imagine that's the case, but maybe. It was like weird. They like showed her, but then she doesn't have any weapons, so I'm not really sure why. That part was kind of weird. Let me see again. Did I go too far back? I did go too far back. I couldn't really see it, dude. She was running and I couldn't really see it. Yeah. There it is. I mean, that's the catalyst. Is that a jade catalyst? Is that a new jade catalyst? That could be the jade catalyst right there, but it's like super hard to see. But maybe that's it, because it's got all her effects, so it's the wrong color. Take a look, dude. Let's go to the website we're not supposed to go to and take a peek. Take me there. Take me there. It doesn't actually really look like it, to be honest with you. It could be, but it doesn't really look like it. Well, supposedly what the Jade Catalyst looks like, it doesn't actually really look like it. Anyway, all right, so here's your crazy events, right? Market redemption event, story. This is the tower defense game mode. I think this was the thing where you traded pictures. Maybe that was this one. I can't even remember. You get a free 4-star game. Okay, so this is cool for free to play, I guess. I mean, literally, this is just currency for me, but it's pretty nice to be able to pick one of these characters, because these 5 characters are really strong, right? All 5 of these characters are actually really, really good, right? BIS for Diluc Chong melt combo still hits harder, in my opinion, than Ganyu does when paired with Diluc. I heard he's getting nerfed on this patch, actually. So and it was like in their patch previews. So actually, you may not want to pick him, because he's getting a nerf to his elemental interactions with Oz, and then supposedly there was some other stuff going down with like how melted things work with his ultimate. So you may want to hold here and just wait and see what people think after the adjustments. Ning Wong's amazing. Check out twitch.tv/I'mStarmy for top tier Ning Wong plays to see what she can do. Bay is the homie. I love Bay, even though I don't play her. I don't know, maybe you skip. I don't know, dude. I love her, but I don't play her, and I don't see a lot of other people playing her who have her at high level, so maybe she's also a pass, even though she's visually amazing. I don't know. You'll have to decide for yourself. And then Xinyan's like one of the best physical damage dealers in the game. She's just phenomenal. Pass. Just pass. You already have her. Pass. Move on. Let's see. Yeah, so this 5 flushes picture thing trading is like, okay, whatever. No big deal. He looks good. I mean, I don't know that there's really much more to say. Character looks good. We'll see how he plays when you actually try him out. The like drop damage thing is a little weird, but it looked like the kit is mostly preserved from what has been discussed so far in leaks. And yeah, so I think it just looks as good as it looked before, and I'm excited to. I'll pull for what did they keep calling him? Sea Owl. I'll pull for Sea Owl. Oh my god, so troll. When he comes out on the 3rd, and we'll do a pool party together. So that's cool. This is the biggest rip of the whole patch, right? This is the biggest rip of the whole patch. There's only 2 ways to do this correctly, right? So let's just talk about this. By the way, you guys ever notice she has a sword that's not released in her art? Like, what is this sword? When do we get this sword? This crazy thing that she's holding that's never released. So clearly they have a sword meant for her, and they just haven't released it yet, because it's in her damn key art. Anyways, so here's the thing. So you've got Sea Owl on patch launch. 14 days later, so 2 weeks later, feels short to me, but 2 weeks later you'll get Kaching. If I'm you, and just hear me out real quick because this is important. If I'm you, I don't pull on the Kaching banner. And the reason I don't pull on the Kaching banner is she's part of standard banner. And that means that, by the way, rip Erica, who's wasted so much money on standard banner trying to pull for her. That's pretty funny. The reason I don't pull for her is because she's not going anywhere. She's part of your natural pity system. So let's say you play the game for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long you decide to stay with Genshin Impact. Eventually you're going to get her because she's going to come through on some featured character banner. When you're trying to get a different character, you're going to end up getting her on the 50-50 pity. So like, there's no reason. It's actually a bad idea. So I did this early on my account as a whale account, and I regretted doing it, which is I pulled a ton on standard banner. Actually, I won't say I regretted doing it. It was actually a lot of fun, and it allowed me to get a good kickstart on my account. But like, it wasn't a good investment. And what I mean by that is like, when you pull on standard banner, all you're doing is speeding up the time. Other than when you get free standard banner currency, you're speeding up the time to maxing out characters that you're then going to end up getting in featured banners that are then going to be worth nothing when you get them in featured banners, which let me tell you feels bad because their excess duplicate currency shop sucks. Like, other than the like low one where you can get like gold, there's not really good rewards there. They're very, even the 4-star, people are gonna be like, but the 4-star weapon, the Black Cliff, like, okay, but think about how many times you have to get the Black Cliff before you can max refine it, and by then how many other weapons could you potentially have gotten that would make you strong? So like that shop sucks. Like I think it sucks. I actually think those weapons are bait, and that shop is not great. Are they good choices compared to other things in the game right now? Yes. Are they good choices compared to other things in the game for the long haul? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I would skip this banner. I think this is a bait. You're gonna get her eventually anyways. But this banner looks good, so you can get this guy if you like him, and if you don't like him, then I guess you'll be saving money and primo gems this patch and waiting for next month, which is unfortunate. There should have been 2 5-stars this patch. I don't. Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, so so we know about this. We know about this. There's not much to say about these events. This is your choose your 4-star. We talked about it. You'll get 1 crown this patch, it looks like, and only 1 crown. So that's cool. So then you'll have 4 total crowns up to this point. So in theory, can max at least 1 character totally out and have 1 excess. Primo gems, and like XP rewards. Not really anything super special on the reward side other than this crowd. So yeah, not much to say there. Not much to say there either. These are just details of the events. Here's your tower defense. So like, how do I feel about this? So here's the thing about the tower defense mode. It's cool. I think it will actually be a shitload of fun when it comes out, when you first start doing it. The implementation is a little odd, and let me explain what I mean. They made a very pure tower defense. And what I mean by pure tower defense is it's place towers that cannot be destroyed, and then you can do some extra damage yourself, and the enemies seem to just ignore you and go through, at least in the preview. What would have been more interesting, in my opinion, would have been towers that can be destroyed, so you have some defending of them, which means you'd have to change the placement of where they are, and then letting the enemies target you and target the towers, so you have to switch aggro between you and the towers. That would have been more interesting and more similar to like dungeon defenders versus like a very pure tower defense, where it's just like they just pass through and you either defeat them in time or not. I think regardless, it'll still be like a lot of fun. Like, this actually looks pretty hard, right? You got a bunch of ruin hunters coming through, a bunch of mages with shields coming through. It actually looks like it could be pretty interesting. But I'll tell you, when we did events like this in my past career at other companies, when I was working in game development at other studios, I'll tell you that these events are fun, but their life, even though they're really fun at the beginning, the life of that fun is quickly over. Like you'll like love the hell out of this, and then you'll become bored with it. Like it'll feel really fast. So I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about them doing stuff like this, because usually you do these kinds of things to like drive sales up, right? You like pair like a bunch of like limited time things that you can only get by playing the event that are like really cool, that also have like some like monetary component with it, and this just seems like they just kind of like spent a lot of money making this without any real connection into the game or why. I don't know how I feel about it. It seems okay, but I think it'll go stale pretty fast, actually. But I might be wrong. Like, look how slow they are. Like, I want them to like come in and beat my ass, dude, while they're passing through. Yeah, it just feels kind of lifeless this way. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I do think it'll be a ton of fun when you first play it. But yeah, it seems kind of meh. What else you got? That's the photo event. We know about that. More codes. This is the best part of the patch. This monster is actually the best part. By the way, remember I told you, look at this face, guys. This is what nightmares are made of. Look at this face. Holy smokes, dude. Oh no. Why? Can someone turn that into an emote? We need that face to be a better Twitch TV emote. Like, that is the most outrageous face I have ever seen on a monster, period. So in my opinion, this is actually the best thing is these two new monsters, because they actually open up. I didn't realize this was going to be the case. Yeah, I do my best to kind of avoid super detailed leaks because things get changed. But like the idea that this guy launches and can have different elemental affiliations, as well as the bigger one, the boss. I think that's actually pretty cool, because what that's going to do is it's going to open the door to really hard combos when you fight more than one of them, right? So like, just imagine fighting, you know, the Hydra one with the Pyro one, and like getting melted like by these enemies. The opportunity to make harder co-op content in like Abyss and like out in the world is really exciting with stuff like this, where you have enemies that apply massive elemental damage, that have crazy movement, and are actually hard to fight. This is the kind of content that I really like. Now, I play a lot of Monster Hunter in the past. This is very Monster Hunter-ish, to like this like monster's movement and how it looks and attacks. And the combination with the elemental reaction system is something unique to this game, but seems like actually like it could be really cool for like multi-monster fights. So I really like this. I think that this is the best part of the patch, and opens the door to a lot of fun future content. So hopefully their enemy development keeps going. By the way, speaking of enemy development, we got to get to that codex. It's a little farther in. We'll get to that codex. That's really cool. So this is interesting. So look at this. So this is that event. You notice there's different ratings for the rewards of the event, and there's also the time. Looked like it was 12 hours, so half a day. So you can do 2 of these a day with people who are on rate up, it looks like, and also building a good party. And then it's a chance for bonus rewards. That part's a little weird to me. It says there's a chance, and it doesn't tell you what they are. So we'll have to see more about that. That part's a little weird to me, but the general idea here of like, the more characters you have, the more you can put them to use, and the rewards being like remember the old reward dudes, like 5,000 Mora for like, what is it, like 18 hours or some crap, dude? And here's 40,000 more for 12 hours. Is like much more reasonable. Now the downside is that this looks like it's limited time, right? It's a limited time event, so this isn't necessarily staying, but one can hope that maybe they'll take what they're doing here and apply it to normal expeditions. It would be really nice, versus having this be a limited time event. Yeah, this is just Peacock stuff, which I like. All right, this was cool. Look at this. I like this. The reason I like this is because this is a preview, it feels like, into their roadmap for how many more enemies they're planning per category, which I actually think is like kind of cool, right? So it's like some slimes are missing. Scroll your ass, dude. A bunch of different hilly churl types are missing. All right. We know it's not totally complete because we've already seen before a Dendro Abyss Mage concept art leaked. Or maybe it was fake. There's no Abyss Mages listed there. Fatui is totally complete for the moment. which I doubt is true long term. You got all these doodads. Other human factions. This is super vague. Your ruined dudes. Your beasts and flowers down here. And I assume enemies of note are weekly bosses. But I actually don't know. Where's the unusual hilly churl go? Where's Way? Was Way under hilly churls? Yeah, I wonder if Way will be here, if he'll be creatures of note. That's actually enemies of note, excuse me. That's actually super interesting. I think this is a cool feature. I mean, it's not going to give us gameplay stuff. Also, that art is badass. It's not going to give us gameplay stuff, but I still think it's like a cool feature to be able to look at the models and log the enemies that you've defeated. I think that's kind of nice. And then that one's troll, the like the wildlife one, which I guess I like broke it by going backwards. This one seems troll to me. I mean, I'm not against it. It's kind of neat, but it feels a little trolly. We can't even pet the dogs yet. How are you going to give us a codex for all these like all these pets that we can't even touch in the game? Mihoyo, come on. Here's your peacock for profile. This is cool, by the way. I know some people were talking about like this being like a whale thing, but I just want to clarify. Like, actually, don't agree with that. So, like, one of the things that is here, right, is like this could be, you know, my best characters, which is just interesting for friends to be able to look at one another's characters and loadouts. I actually think that's really fun. Spiral Abyss, it's like a pride thing. Total achievements is actually usually the people with the most achievements are usually not whales. Whales are lazy. Usually total achievements is like an opportunity for people who are really hardcore committed to the game and like doing completionist stuff to really show off their work. I have a friend who really likes doing this stuff. So I actually think that this is a super cool feature to just be able to like peek at your friends and see things that, like a step towards better social interaction in the game, even though it's a very small step. So the ability to like preview people's builds and stuff is pretty cool. The problem here is that like there's one thing missing from this that's really important. What's missing is that they haven't increased the friends list restriction yet. Like, I don't know if like MiHoYo's like trying to think about your friends list as like real life, like, hey, in real life, do I actually have 45 people who I would consider close friends that I know? That's not really how a friends list is used, right? A friends list is used more as like a Rolodex of like people you know, whether or not you're super close with them or not. So like the limit of 45 is actually super toxic. And I'm disappointed that they're adding these more social systems, but they haven't talked about increasing the friends list. When I know that, look, friends lists are not. It's not development. It's not hard on development. Like that is an easy thing to increase. I can't think of any way they would have done it where it would have been like insanely hard to increase. So I'm just super disappointed that there's no talk about that yet. That should be a thing. You should be able to have more friends. It pins on the map. Same thing, ID. I totally agree. Like pins on the map should also be going up. Although for this patch, irrelevant since we're not getting any new areas. But in general, like the arbitrary limitations put on certain things that I know can be lifted with relative ease is unfortunate, and I wish they wouldn't do that. All right, so somebody was telling me remaining bonus rewards today. So if I'm reading this correctly, you can get 3 times per day double rewards from Leyline. So if you're interested, if you're running ley lines already, which by the way, unless you're whaling, you definitely have to be doing it or you won't have enough XP materials or Mora to be able to level your characters, right? But if you're running ley lines, here's an opportunity for you to get double what you normally get. It looks like 3 times a day at max. I don't really like, I've talked about this before. I don't really like the ley line design. I actually think the correct design for ley lines is to just give people like a fixed amount of ley lines for free every day and not make you use resin on it, because resin is such a precious resource that you actually really need to use resin on like artifact farming where there's like a lot of RNG and other problems and other materials. And I just feel like to make people use it on Mora and XP tomes is like kind of unfair. You should have the option if you want to run more than the daily amount of ley lines to use resin on ley lines, but it shouldn't be a requirement. So like a good way to do this would be like, hey, every day you can get 3 free ley lines, right? Let's just say, I'm just using the number that they're using here, right? Even though I think it should be higher than that, but let's just say it's 3 free ley lines every day. And then you can run more ley lines than that. But to do that, you'd have to redeem resin. That's a totally fair system. That would be a good system. And then it's like, okay, if you really, really need this, you can put resin into this every day. But if you don't really need this and you just want to slowly advance your account because you want to get the other things that have to cost resin, then you could do that. I really wish they would do something like that. And I don't know. We could continue to hope and ask them for a system like that, but today doesn't exist. So you'll be able to get at least though double rewards for your resin for those of you who are running it. And I personally will probably be passing on ley lines unless there's some added rewards. Look at this sword, dude. Give me the sword already. I don't need the character. I need the sword. Oh yeah, this was their music stuff. I think they came to a wrap after that. I don't think there was anything new that revealed to us after that. By the way, notice there was something missing from the patch notes. There were 2 things missing from the patch notes that had previously been discussed. One, there was no mention of Zhongli and the geo-resonance buff. Recall that there's supposed to be geo-resonance buff, changing how geo-resonance works and also allowing it to shred geo-resistance. There's a ton of buffs that they were testing to Zhongli, everything from HP scaling in new places, including auto attack, to having a shield that shreds, to summoning a pillar when he summons his shield, and all kinds of other crazy stuff. So there was no mention of any of that on the English patch notes. So that's unfortunate. I'm sure it will probably be in 1.3 since it's already been announced it's coming for 1.3, but we was really hoping to get more clarification around specifically what are the buffs that are coming, and we didn't get that clarification, so that's unfortunate. The second thing that wasn't mentioned is there was an early publishing by MiHoYo of a resin pass on the PlayStation store. I feel like I'm allowed to talk about this because this isn't really a leak. This is just a publishing mistake MiHoYo made, right? So there was no mention of this resin pass here in this show either. So there was something like you could spend some money to buy resin, and no mention of that in this either. So yeah, that's weird. That's it. That's the whole patch. It's a pretty small patch. Let me see. I want to see one thing real quick. Look up one thing real fast. It's in here. Oh, sorry, that's gonna be in your ear. Yeah, I don't actually see. So no mention of future content that's being worked on. No mention of 1.4. I was just checking one thing to look at the roadmap for Genshin Impact, but yeah, there's actually no like published information about the officially published information about the next patch. I know there's like leaked roadmaps of people like saying when the next updates will be, but there's actually no published information about 1.4. So yeah, I guess you could assume 1.4 will come in March. When in March doesn't seem to be out there. So yeah, so that's unfortunate. Oh yeah, that's a good point, by the way. That's a good point that third person's made. 1 full month here on this three bonus rewards daily. Maybe I will run this then. A month is a long time. That's a lot of somebody who runs this every day, and somebody who doesn't run this at all is going to be way behind. That's a lot of extra. Maybe for the XP, I'll consider running it. That's a lot of extra stuff. But this is actually in line, by the way. 31 days, dude. That's insane. Wait. So what if you could so what if you could do the math on this, right? So it says 31 days, 8 hours left on this. Does that mean that the next patch is 32 days from when this goes live? You think that's how that works? Or you think it's just coincidence? We could speculate, guys. We could speculate that the next patch will be live in 32 days. Anyway, actually, I may change my guidance to you guys and tell you. Well, I never told you guys not to run it. I said I wouldn't run it, but I may actually run it. 32 days of double rewards on XP Leyline is actually a shitload of XP. um 300 books, somewhere around there. So around 300 books at my AR. At AR, I'll be AR 56 next week, Thursday. So at AR 56, that's like 300 purple books. That's a lot of XP. It seems like the general goal of this patch is to just slow things down, which again, I've already explained why I don't agree with that. But to slow things down and to just have you focus on your current collection of characters and leveling up and improving your current collection of characters for content ahead. So I mean, that's the patch. Whether you love it or not, hate it, whatever, that seems to be the goal of the patch. It's just get you stronger for future content. Here's one new character, maybe a couple new weapons, and that's it. So don't take the bait. Don't take the bait on just to refresh everyone's recollection. Don't take the bait on that Kaching banner, please. Please. This is if you walk away with only one thing from this stream, it should be do not take the bait on the Kaching banner. I don't think it's a good idea. This is good if you want him and you want to play him. I think he's going to be pretty interesting, and I'll be pulling for him on February 3rd at normal stream hours. We'll do a pull party. I'll test him out, C0, C1, etc. But this is, I think, is a bait, and I would strongly encourage you, unless this is like your absolute favorite character in the game and you have to have her, I would strongly encourage you to wait and not pull on that banner, because you're going to get her eventually through the way featured character banners work. If you love her and she's your waifu and you don't give a fuck about, excuse my language, about anything else, and all you need is her, she is the one you need, you've been dreaming on it forever, you must have her, then go ahead and pull, right? I mean, not everything is about min-maxing. That's the truth. But that's it. Anything you guys want to talk about? Yeah, this is so sad for Erica. I have watched Erica literally spend thousands of dollars pulling standard banner trying to max out Kaching and has not done it. She will definitely be pulling on this banner. So much money, dude, and all she had to do was wait till February 17th. Oh god, it kills me. It kills me. That is an ultimate Keck W, dude. That is the ultimate Keck W. I doubt it, Alex. Usually when you see something that says 31 days like that, that's usually an internal config on the patch, which just means when the patch goes live, the timer starts. So my guess would be that that's in a test environment, and the 31 days will be from when the patch goes live. But you're right. It's totally possible that the event could be a shorter duration. You don't want to over-analyze the patch preview because it's in a development environment and things could be misconfigured. But if you believe the preview makes it look like it's actually for quite a while. It's pretty cool. Do I think that Dragon Spine sword is good for Xinyan? Yes. Yes. That you're talking about the Dragon Spine Claymore for Xinyan, which deals extra physical damage. Yes, I think it's very good on her. Zeno asks, Lionheart, it's still weird that they're doing only double ley lines and not double boss drops too. If the goal is for you to improve your collection and get stronger, I'll agree with you that that's a little strange that they didn't give you at least one double crystal drop. But I think their general feeling is that they don't want to accelerate that, which also would accelerate gear farming for artifacts that are dropped from that. But you are correct. It's a little off that that's not part of it. Now, Tati says, Lionheart, do you know what this is about? The patch giving 1,600 primos and 10 wishes? Will they really give us that? There was some content, Tate, that was in the Chinese patch preview that was not in the US one, but I haven't watched it, so I can't confirm. And I don't speak Mandarin, so even if I did watch it, I would just be relying on somebody else's accuracy for translation. Time between banners are shorter? Yes. I think the general feeling that I noticed in chat when we were going through the patch preview is that most people thought that this would be a shorter patch than other patches. But I'll tell you, I mean, I just looked and maybe I missed it, but I don't see a confirmed date for 1.4 from MiHoYo. So, yeah, I don't know why it's shorter, but yeah. Really only one new character they could have released. Housing system. I think a housing system to do it right, Jero, is pretty involved. You know, you can make an arbitrary housing system really fast, right? Here's a room you can walk into, has a bunch of trophies and shit. But if only you can walk into it and nobody else can walk into it, and there's not real meaningful customization, it ends up being kind of like their like camera feature, which in my opinion is a little bit of a joke, right? They have this cool ass camera feature so you could take pictures with your friends and do cool poses, but then the gestures are like pathetic, right? It's like slight grin, nothing, stand there, do this, nothing. Like, I feel like you want that system to release well done, and for it to be well done, it's many months of development to make a good housing system. It's not fast. Hopefully it's coming. I mean, there's no mention of it in any preview, so hopefully it's coming. So don't pull for Kaching even if free to play. In my opinion, especially if you're free to play, do not pull for Kaching, because you're going to get those standard banner characters on accident eventually, and it's usually the featured banner characters that are pushing power creep, not the standard banner old ones. So I think it's a particularly big bait for free to play. And I'll tell you, dude, I have Kaching. She's cool, but like in terms of power curve with other 5-star characters, she is nowhere close to the top. Nowhere close. Also, Lionheart, the English stream did say Zhongli buffs are coming with 1.3, just no specifics. Oh, I missed it, Zeno. I probably was talking. I didn't see that. Okay, well, I'm glad that that was in there. Thanks for pointing that out. No, nobody knows, Doppler. Those are all rumors. No, nobody knows for sure. I'm not used to seeing lion room while being white. It's so light outside. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird when you could see me in the lights? Ah, he's not what I expected. No. Yeah, so Prozito says Kaching takes a ton of investment to make her good. Here's the thing. I think Kaching will actually rise up on the power curve. I think that there is some stuff kit wise that holds her back, but there are two bigger things that have nothing to do with her kit that are holding her back. There's not an exceptional artifact set for her yet. There are options and they're okay, but there's not one that's really truly exceptional. And then there's not an exceptional weapon for her yet, either in the 5-star category, where a lot of other characters do have that, right? There are things she could use, but there's not anything that she can use like you got people running Summit Shaper on her, dude. There's a sword for shield characters, like, and that's the best that people are running on her right now. So she's nerfed a little bit by the gear that's available to her, and when better gear becomes available, she will rise up on that power curve. But I'll tell you, I don't think she's ever going to be near the top of the power curve. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, okay, so you look at her Constellation 6, right? So it's like only available for like really whale players or long-term players, right? But like you look at it, and it's like, okay, you have to do a ton of work to get a 24% damage boost, or you could just play Albedo and he puts down a pillar and he gets a 17% damage boost for not doing anything. It's weird. It's very weird. Like some of the numbers on her kit seem incorrectly tuned to me as a designer, but I don't think you're ever going to see her get adjusted either, because she's not like so weak that people are going to feel bad, and she's not so strong that people are going to feel bad. She's just kind of in the middle. She's just in the middle of the power curve. And so the things that will push her up or down will be gear, right? Artifacts and weapons. At least she's beautiful. She's got that going for her. She's a very sexy character. That's okay. It's okay for you to use Summit Ghost. It's all right. It's all right. What is the weapon that Kaching is holding on the banner? It's an unreleased weapon. So the weapon that Kaching is meant to use has not released yet, which is super fascinating. Because usually, not always, but usually the weapon that they want you to use on a character is their intent for they intend for that weapon to be BIS on that character. I think sometimes they fail, but that is their general intention. Do I think Electro Element is underpowered? Underpowered implies that it's like really, really weak. I don't think it's really, really weak, but I do think it's weaker than a lot of other elements, right? Electra is very good for like physical damage dealing comps, which there's just not a lot of in the game right now, so you don't see it shine. This is the same debate I had with people when I was like, I think freeze is going to be really good. There's just not enough good characters to do freeze yet. And people were like very focused on like melt vaporize, right? And then enough characters came out and freeze became actually really good, right? Is freeze going to give you the one-hit wonder speed run? No, but it's actually quite effective. And I think Electra is the same thing. I think it's just not effective the way people want. It's really good for shredding physical resistance, and that's pretty awesome. And then it's pretty underwhelming everywhere else. I wouldn't be bothered if they went through, you know, they're doing the rework to Geo, and I'm not sure that will solve the problem or not, the Geo resonance. I wouldn't mind if they did that kind of an audit for some of the other elements that are not performing as well, and I think Electra would qualify for that. I don't think this weapon is coming out, Limon. This one that Kaching's holding right here, I don't think this weapon is coming out on this patch. I think it's just part of her art. They didn't show it in the area where they were like early previewing weapons. They did not show that weapon. They showed the Jade Sword and they showed the red polearm, Homa, I think it's called. What if that's the Jade Sword but not fully ascended? No, it's not. It's not. It's a separate sword. People have done data mining. It's a separate sword. There's no information on it. You won't find anything out there, but other than that, it's a separate sword. Yeah, the thing is that like melt and vaporize are pretty exceptional in their ability to deal crazy damage. And I think the challenge is that in this game, the success measurement is how fast did you clear something? Everything you do in the game that's hard is based on time to clear, right? Did you clear Abyss in time to get enough stars? Did you clear the domain with the fastest time? Or even the current event, right? Against the bosses, were you able to beat it before time ran out, right? When you make success, the success criteria time, it makes dealing the biggest number the most important criteria for players. And that's what's caused so many other elements to not shine well in relation to one another, is because there are very clearly 3 elements based on their interactions that are the best at that. So it's a mistake in design in terms of what does success look like. It's also easily corrected without adjusting the elements, though MiHoYo has shown no indication that they plan to correct that. Staff of Homa, thank you, Tati, thank you. That's the polearm that we saw Xiangling holding in the video. Here, I'll go back to it so you can see it. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you at, Xiangling? With your sexy polearm. Actually, I think it was maybe after. No. It was way back. Rip me, dude. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Show us that good polearm. Woo! I'm excited for that sword. There you go. There you go. The Staff of Homa. It's weird that they didn't actually preview you these weapons or talk about the banner that they're going to be in. I wonder if they haven't finalized that yet. Lil JRO says, I'm still confused. Last patch, we had 2 new heroes and a new area. Now only 1 new hero. Are they preparing or what? So JRO, I mean, I think that like, I'm also confused about that. We talked a little bit about it during the stream. My feeling is that they're taking gasoline off the fire and they should be pouring more on. I don't think this is a good patch, but you know, it's what we got. And the only people who could really tell you why they're doing this is MiHoYo. The focus of the patch seems to be for you to improve your current collection rather than expand it and do new content, which is, in my opinion, unfortunate. I think you will see Abyss get changed again, Yukio, but probably not until 1.4 and maybe even later. I mean, it depends on the size of the patch. But they set a precedent that it looks like Abyss will constantly be getting updated rather than having new floors added to it. So I do think you'll see it updated again. Are these two weapons 5-star confirmed? They are both 5 stars, but not confirmed by MiHoYo, but they are both 5-star weapons based on community intel. It's the most polite way I can describe that. When's the 1.3 live stream? Did I miss it? You did. It has happened. You can check the VOD. I'll upload a copy of this video to YouTube, and also a copy of the patch preview should be available on Genshin Impact's official YouTube. Lionheart, what kind of stuff was I expecting on this patch? I was expecting at least 2 5 stars. I was not expecting a new area, but I was expecting at least 2 5 stars, new weapons, which we're getting, and then I was hopeful for different events than what we got. Like I would have liked to have seen some quality of life changes in areas that they didn't make them, like friends list limitations, and I would have also liked to have seen some more like daily content that we can do, specific around like co-op, right? They keep talking about co-op and how important it is to the experience and this throughout this whole video, but they haven't actually really done a good job of fostering co-op play. So that's what I would have liked to have seen this patch focus more in on. Yeah, hopefully the coming patches. Sorry, Illumi. Sorry, it's so bright in here. Yeah, I'm not sure this really gives free-to-play a chance to catch up. I feel like Dimitro, that's almost like, it's almost like an illusion of like that's what it's for, right? Like the theory is that like, oh, well, this patch doesn't have a lot of content for whales to buy, so it's a good patch for free-to-play to catch up. But what do you think whales are going to do? We're just going to pull farther ahead in progressing our own characters, right? So free-to-play is going to be sitting there investing in the characters that they have, and whales are going to be sitting there maxing out all the characters, right? Like this entire next month, I'm just going to be sitting there improving my current collection. So the distance between me and a free-to-play player is going to still be as large as it was before, you know, if not larger, if not maybe even worse, because I can focus up on characters that I've already had. Yeah, I think it ends up being, it ends up just being somewhat the same. Yeah, but I don't think it's a good, if their goal was to cater to like free-to-play players, I think this patch would fail for that. If their goal was to give us everybody free-to-play, spending, whale, whatever, time to level up their own collection, it's successful in that. I just think it's the wrong time to do that in the game's life cycle. I think the time to do that is like when the game is like, I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years old, not in the first 6 months of the game. That's very weird. Yeah, what Naki said in terms of things. I just pray there's no PvP in this game. I disagree, but let me explain why, Toasty, before you just like rage close me. I think PvP in this game should never be a feature that is leaderboarded or competitive in any way, because I think it would upset a lot of players, even though there's a lot of pay-to-win gacha games out there that do totally fine. I actually think for this game it would make a lot of people very upset. But I do think they should add friendly dueling on server with no leaderboard. What I mean by that is I think I should be able to invite 2 of you to my server, walk over to the wolf area, to where you fight the wolf boss, which is basically a coliseum, and allow you guys to issue a duel against one another and then watch you guys battle it out to the death. I think that would be super cool. I think people would love it. I think it would increase the social glue in the game, the social aspect and the cooperative fun that you could have, and it would be done in a way where it's totally meaningless. There's no progression tied to it. It's just for fun. People can't complain about PvP pay to win. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I think that would be actually amazing, and I'm very sad that that's not in the game. I think friendly duels would be super cool, and I put it in my recommendation every time I get a survey, though I don't think it will actually ever get in. Pro Zeno said, got this from Reddit, Zhongli info. Thank you for your attention. All the adjustments mentioned in the Zhongli adjustment plan on December 19th and additional adjustment plan on December 29th will be fully implemented in version 1.3. We will summarize the 2 confirmed changes in the announcement of the version update notice on February 1st, which is a fancy way of saying in our patch notes, and present them to you in full. I hope that's true. Was that from like somebody official, Pro Zeno? That's super awesome. That means Zhongli will get all the buffs listed, which is great, and will make him Very potent. Yeah, I'd duel you, Naki. I'd be down. Can you imagine? Can you imagine channel point wagers for friendly duels? It would be so fun. Dudes would get pissed people spamming Venti's ult on them. I think Venti's ult would actually be bad in PvP dueling, Kane, because I think the way that they would implement it if they did like a friendly duel system would be that Venti's ult would not draw you in. It would treat you like it treats Fatui. It doesn't draw you in. It just deals damage in air. He'd actually be super low tier. I don't think anybody would play him. I think he'd be trash. I don't think it would pick you up like it picks up Hilly Churls. What do we just one-shot each other? No, you can totally balance it. Guys, there's lots of games that are focused on content like this that are balanced for PvP. But again, the PvP would need to be friendly, no leaderboards. I don't want anybody to tune in out of context and be like, this guy wants PvP, I'm out. We're talking about friendly duels, right? On server, among friends, no leaderboards, no rewards, just for fun. And then the balance also becomes a little less important, because you're doing it with your friends for fun, so you guys can set your own rules, right? It's like playing Super Smash Bros. And choosing if you want items on, which items you want on, what rule set you want, right? You just set it up however you want. It doesn't actually matter. Toddy says, Lionheart, I imagine that if your idea of friendly duels came true, I imagine people on YouTube doing some big ass wagers. Probably, but those wagers don't hurt anybody. And if anything, they'd be very entertaining to watch, right? You would watch it the same way you watch the like streamer highlight summaries. I think people would be super entertained and really like it. I would love to see Solstice with his DPS Chi-Chi going on PvP and nobody be able to kill him. And people change their tune on Chi-Chi for just friendly duels. That would be so funny. Oh God, that would be so funny, dude. I would love it. I would actually love it. What about Zhongli's stone? What do you mean, Jaro? I think if you're asking about like Zhongli's like the buffs, the different buffs that he has, or you're talking about paralysis or him turning you into stone. Yeah, I mean, don't get hit. Big ass AoE, don't get hit. There's a lot of characters with movement abilities in the game. How about Zhongli using his stone and then Beidou using counter and blocking somebody's ulti and then slapping Zhongli in the face? How funny would that be? Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Do you think they will uncap 60 FPS? Probably not. Maybe in like 2 or 3 years when they're preparing for like another project to test the tech with an established audience, but I don't see any compelling reason for them to do it before then. Yeah. By the way, I guess there's a lot of people hanging out. Looks like most of you guys, not all of you, but most of you have been here before, since a lot of you are in the Pride. If there's anybody here who's watching and you've never been on the channel before, I hope you'll consider, if you're enjoying the content, just hitting follow, coming back sometime. I stream every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, except for Saturdays. And if that's an inconvenient time for you, because it is definitely far away from right now, I also have a YouTube channel, !YouTube, where I make guides about every character in Genshin Impact, and I also have farming routes. Hey guys, the one thing I want to talk about that I didn't bring back up that's actually really important, speaking of farming routes, is where's that conversion piece? Let me see if I can find that. This is the one thing we didn't talk about. It's actually really important. I can't believe I didn't talk about it. They have this crazy new conversion for your world mats, which is awesome. Which is actually awesome. And we need to talk about that. It's right before this. But check this out, dude. Is it earlier than that? I don't think it was earlier than that. Here you go, here you go. Here you go. You can now take materials that you had excess of and transmute them into other things. It doesn't tell you what it is, which is really weird. This is the weirdest feature preview I've ever seen, by the way. You could take 150 firm arrowheads, which is the max.
Cold beer after a hard day's work. Nothing like it.
Thank you, ID, for hooking up the homie fledgling Phoenix into the Pride, dude. Super awesome. This is the weirdest part I've ever seen, right? This is a firm arrow. You take 150 firm arrowheads, you can transmute them, but doesn't actually tell you what they turn into. So this is a very weird feature preview, but But yeah, you can transmute your world supplies into things. So the farming route just became a whole lot more valuable. And I have one of well, I will say what I think is one of the most fun farming routes on my YouTube channel. It's one of the reasons my YouTube channel grew so much in the early days. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It shows more on the other stream. Maybe they got shit for it, so they cut it from the English version. Let's see if I can find the other version. Oh, the other version will be on Bilibili. Does anyone have a link to the other one? I'd love to take a peek at it. If anyone has the Bilibili VOD link handy, I'd love to just skip around that video and find this. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Even if the rewards were only so Yuma says the rewards are XP and Mora. I mean XP books, dude, I'll take XP books. Like, that sounds great. That sounds phenomenal to me. What that seems like, that is a replacement for world farming as a way to level your characters. Perfect, excellent. Saves me resin. I would love that. Anything you could get for those materials, because they're totally worthless now, would, I think, add a lot of value. Do you have any idea why they cap the game at 60 FPS? 60 FPS is just an industry standard for good performance. So yeah, most games don't try to do, unless you're making a shooter, which I get there's some like charge shot elements to this, but unless you're making like a shooter, you really usually don't need more than 60 FPS. It's only like in like very precise games that you need something like that. We turn cabbages into other stuff. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Naki. Naki wrote EXP books and more for world farming is Pog, actually. I totally agree. All right. Well, this has been fun. I never stream at this time. I'm blown away how many people came to hang out. Props to Razor Ninja for rating us. That was cool. So yeah, make sure you check out Razor Ninjas, twitch.tv/Razor Ninjas for rating us. That was cool. And again, when we were talking about the free character giveaways, depending on who you're gonna pick, where's my free character slot again? Take me back here. He gets so mad at me. Look at it. It hates us. Stop skipping around this video, Lionheart. You done enough skipping. Oh my god, rip. Here's what we do to avoid that. Here's how we get around that without waiting forever. So one other thing, picking these characters, just so you know, you'll be able to pick one of the 4 stars. BIS for paired with Diluc is Chongyun. If you want a physical damage dealer, Shinyan's amazing. Bei, I love her appearance, but I can't recommend her for pulling. I can't recommend Shanling for pulling because Xingqiu is getting nerfed in this patch. You may want to wait to see how the nerfs pan out if that's the one you're thinking about pulling for. Ning Wang is amazing, and if you want to see how to play Ning Wang really well, twitch.tv/I'mStarmy is the Ning Wang player. So hopefully you guys love this. Hopefully this was super interesting, and thanks so much to everybody who showed up to talk over the patch preview with me. I really appreciate it. Again, hope you'll come back and hang out for future content, and yeah, you guys are all awesome. So I'll upload a copy of this video to YouTube if you got here late and you want to see the whole thing. I will have it unedited on YouTube, and you can watch through it, skip around, and re-see your favorite parts. And yeah, I'll be back live at the usual stream time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I hope to see some of you guys there in I guess, about 8 hours from now. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If I don't see you again.